Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're diving into another top 20 countdown of the absolute best open world games on Nintendo Switch. These games give you massive worlds to explore, stories to uncover, and freedom to play your way. Let's get started with number 20. Kingdom Come Deliverance drops you into a realistic medieval Bohemia in 1403, where you play as Henry, a blacksmith's son whose village gets destroyed during a civil war, forcing him into a quest for revenge and justice. This isn't your typical fantasy RPG. There's no magic, no dragons, just brutal historical combat and survival. The combat system is incredibly skill-based, requiring you to learn actual sword-fighting techniques, master timing for blocks and strikes, and maintain your equipment, because a damaged sword fights worse. You need to eat, sleep, and keep your clothes clean, or people will treat you differently. The world reacts to your reputation and choices in meaningful ways. Lockpicking, pickpocketing, and even reading are skills you have to develop. The first-person perspective makes every sword fight feel personal and dangerous. Quests have multiple solutions based on your skills and approach. The game runs surprisingly well on Switch, considering its scope, though you'll notice some texture pop in. It's a demanding experience that respects your intelligence and doesn't hold your hand, creating one of the most immersive historical RPGs ever made. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake blends classic JRPG structure with modern refinements, creating a world that feels far more open and rewarding to explore than the originals. The turn-based combat stays true to the series' roots, but additions like sigils, scrolls, difficulty options, auto battle, and faster combat flow smooth out the grind and make progression more flexible. Exploration is richer thanks to expanded towns, denser overworld regions, new secrets, and optional areas that encourage wandering instead of following a strict path. Storytelling benefits from enhanced cutscenes, deeper NPC dialogue, and more defined villain motivations, giving both adventures stronger emotional texture. The first tale focuses on a lone hero restoring peace, while the second broadens into a party-based journey across multiple kingdoms with higher stakes and new character dynamics. Modern visual upgrades bring the HD 2D style to life with warm lighting, layered depth, and expressive scenery, helping the world feel alive even within its retro structure. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, brings the beloved 3DS Life Sim RPG to Switch, with enhanced visuals and expanded content, letting you live out your fantasy life in the colorful world of Reveria. You create your character and choose from 12 different life classes, including Paladin, Wizard, Blacksmith, Cook, Tailor, and more, each with unique abilities and storylines. The main story involves mysterious time anomalies and a girl who appears to be connected to them. But honestly, the joy comes from just living in this world. You can switch between lives anytime, so you might spend your morning mining ore, afternoon crafting swords as a blacksmith, evening hunting monsters as a mercenary, then night fishing by the river. Everything interconnects beautifully. Materials you gather as a miner help your blacksmith craft better weapons for your combat life. The combat is simple action RPG stuff, with dodging and attacking, nothing too complex. The world is divided into different regions with varying difficulty levels, encouraging you to improve your skills before venturing into dangerous areas. Multiplayer lets you adventure with friends. The charm comes from how everything you do feels meaningful and interconnected, creating a relaxing yet engaging gameplay loop. Red Dead Redemption remains one of the strongest open-world experiences on Nintendo platforms, thanks to its vast frontier, reactive world, and a story that blends grit with emotional weight. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw forced to confront his past by tracking down his old gang, and the narrative unfolds across sweeping plains, rugged deserts, and Mexican territories that feel alive with wildlife, towns, bandits, and constant unscripted events. Core mechanics like the Deadeye system add a cinematic edge to shootouts by slowing time and letting you mark targets, while horseback travel, duels, poker, bounty hunting, and random encounters create a world that naturally generates its own stories. Even years later, exploration still feels rewarding because the game's design pushes you to wander and engage instead of rushing between missions. On Nintendo Switch, the port captures the atmosphere well, and the later update for Switch 2 enhances clarity, performance, and environmental detail, making the world smoother to explore without losing its classic tone. The result is an immersive Western sandbox, where the mix of freedom, grounded characters, and unpredictable encounters continues to stand out among the platform's best open-world titles.
Hello there. Come on! Come on! See the way he looks about why?
Dragon Quest XI's tells the story of a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of the legendary Luminary, destined to save the world from an ancient evil, but gets branded as a darkspawn and must go on the run. You'll travel across the massive world of YoRHa, gathering a party of memorable characters, each dealing with their own struggles and histories. The turn-based combat lets you control your entire party, with each character having unique skill trees you can develop in different directions. The PEP power system activates special team-up moves when characters get pumped up during battle. You can forge equipment at campsites, improving gear stats through minigames. The world is split between large open areas, perfect for exploration, and traditional towns filled with NPCs and side quests. The Switch version adds a orchestral soundtrack, 16-bit mode that recreates the entire game in classic Dragon Quest style, and additional character stories. There's no random encounters. You see enemies on the map and can choose to engage or avoid them. The story goes to some dark places while maintaining Dragon Quest's optimistic heart. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma blends open-world exploration, farming, crafting, and action RPG combat into a flexible adventure where you shape your own pace. You begin as an Earth Dancer with mysterious powers and no memory, settling in the land of Azuma and gradually rebuilding villages tied to each season. The world opens up early, letting you roam forests, shrines, and corrupted zones, gather resources, tame monsters, restore temples, and interact with a lively cast of NPCs whose friendships and romances influence the flow of daily life. Combat feels more dynamic than past entries, thanks to ranged options, magical talismans, and sacred treasures that expand your abilities both in battle and in environmental puzzles. Exploration is encouraged through hidden paths, seasonal regions with unique biomes, and village upgrades that unlock new systems. Farming and crafting integrate naturally with progression, letting you tailor tools, gear, and fields around your playstyle. The story balances lighthearted village life with the larger mission of purifying the blight and reawakening the gods of Azuma, giving purpose to your wandering without restricting freedom. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition delivers one of the most ambitious open-world experiences on Nintendo Switch, placing you on the alien planet Mira after humanity's Ark ship crash lands during its escape from a cosmic war. As a customizable Blade operative, you explore vast continents filled with towering landscapes, dangerous wildlife, and hidden regions that reward curiosity. The game's hybrid combat blends real-time action with tactical decision-making, letting you switch between melee and ranged attacks, manage aggro, and trigger arts that build toward powerful overdrive chains. Deep customization shapes your playstyle across classes, skills, and equipment, and the eventual access to Skells, transformable mech suits, dramatically changes traversal and battle scale, opening up continents in ways impossible on foot. Exploration ties closely to progression as you plant data probes, gather materials, and support New Los Angeles while following a storyline centered on survival, uncovering Mira's mysteries, and protecting what remains of humanity.
All or nothing. Yes. Now tackle it up close.
Watch me lay into it. Fire!
NieR Automata drops you into a post-apocalyptic Earth where humanity has fled to the moon and sent android soldiers called YoRHa to fight the machine lifeforms controlled by alien invaders. You initially play as 2B, a combat android, and her reconnaissance partner, 9S, as they battle to reclaim Earth. The hack-and-slash combat is incredibly fluid, designed by Platinum Games, letting you chain light and heavy attacks, dodge with perfect timing for counterattacks, and customize your loadout with different weapon combinations. The game constantly shifts perspectives and even genres. One moment you're playing a third-person action game, the next it's a top-down shooter, then a side-scrolling platformer. The open world is hauntingly beautiful, filled with ruined cities reclaimed by nature and machine societies that have evolved in unexpected ways. Without spoiling anything, the game requires multiple playthroughs that reveal new perspectives and story elements, fundamentally changing your understanding of what's happening. The soundtrack is phenomenal, blending operatic vocals with electronic elements. Trails in the Sky First Chapter stands out on Nintendo Switch thanks to its blend of open exploration, character-driven storytelling, and flexible combat. Set in the peaceful yet politically tense kingdom of Liberl, you follow Estelle and Joshua as they travel from town to countryside, completing Bracer Guild jobs that gradually reveal a deeper conspiracy threatening the region. The world feels open and alive because each location flows naturally into the next, offering side quests, NPC routines, optional monster hunts, and small discoveries that reward wandering rather than rushing the main plot. Combat balances speed and strategy. Weaker enemies can be cleared through quick encounters, while major fights shift to a tactical grid, where positioning, turn order, and the orbment system let you shape characters into casters, support roles, or physical attackers by slotting different quartz. Exploration is supported by a clean interface, smoother navigation, and modern enhancements that make the journey feel fresh without sacrificing its classic identity.
What an opportunist. But that's what makes you Estelle, probably.
Alright, next stop, the city of Roland.
Looks like there aren't any monsters around here now.
The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim remains the definitive open-world RPG experience, even years after its original release. And having it portably on Switch is incredible. You start as a prisoner about to be executed when a dragon attacks, revealing that you're Dragonborn, someone who can absorb dragon souls and use their ancient Thuum shouts. The main quest involves stopping Alduin, the dragon prophesied to destroy the world. But honestly, you can ignore that for 100 hours and just explore. The province of Skyrim is absolutely massive, filled with dungeons, caves, ruins, towns, and wilderness areas that all feel handcrafted. The first-person combat lets you dual-wield any combination of weapons and spells, creating countless build possibilities. You can be a heavily armored warrior, stealthy archer, destruction mage, or any combination. The progression system lets you level up by using skills, so you naturally improve at whatever playstyle you enjoy. Joining factions like the Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, or College of Winterhold provides hours of content separate from the main story.
Listen, you should go to Solitude and join up with you.
Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reinvents the Pokémon formula by taking you back to the ancient Hisui region, which will eventually become Sinnoh, during a time when humans and Pokémon weren't living in harmony. You're mysteriously transported to this era and join the Galaxy Expedition team to create the region's first Pokédex. The gameplay shifts from traditional routes and gyms to large open zones where wild Pokémon roam freely and you can catch them by sneaking up and throwing Pokéballs without entering a battle sequence. The combat system got a major overhaul with a turn order display and strong style or agile style moves that let you sacrifice speed for power or vice versa. You'll dodge physical attacks from aggressive Pokémon in real time, adding an action element the series never had before. Research tasks replace gym challenges, requiring you to observe specific behaviors like seeing a Pokémon use a certain move multiple times or catching them during different times of day. Crafting lets you make your own Pokéballs and items using materials gathered throughout the world. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition delivers one of the most memorable open-world adventures on Nintendo Switch, set across the colossal bodies of the Bionis and Mechonis, whose landscapes create a sense of scale rarely matched in JRPGs. You explore sweeping plains, dense forests, winding canyons, and ancient ruins, discovering landmarks that double as fast travel points and tackling side quests, hidden paths, and dynamic encounters shaped by day-night cycles. Combat mixes real-time movement with MMO-style hotbar abilities called arts, turning positioning, timing, and cooldown management into a rhythmic flow where each party member's role matters. The Definitive Edition elevates this with sharper visuals, an improved interface, streamlined menus, and smoother controls that make the world easier to navigate and the combat more intuitive. At the heart of the journey is Shulk, whose ability to wield the Monado draws him into a conflict between organic life from the Bionis and the mechanical beings of the Mechonis, evolving from a personal mission into a far-reaching story about fate, identity, and survival.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition on Nintendo Switch 2 delivers a dense, reactive open world set in the neon-soaked sprawl of Night City, where you play as V, a mercenary whose identity is shaped by cyberware, branching skills, and player-driven choices. The city feels alive with gangs, megacorps, side gigs, emergent encounters, and layered districts that invite exploration. Whether you prefer quiet infiltration, high-speed chases, or chaotic shootouts, combat blends gunplay, melee, and hacking, letting you manipulate systems, disable enemies, or overwhelm them with raw firepower. And the perk system supports wildly different playstyles, from stealth netrunners to cyber-enhanced bruisers. Storytelling leans into moral ambiguity, as every decision, dialogue, alliances, mission approaches ripples through relationships and endings, giving your version of V a distinct arc. The Switch 2 edition refines the experience with motion aiming, touchscreen navigation, and mouse mode controls that make combat and menus smoother in handheld or docked play. Having the Phantom Liberty expansion integrated adds new districts, factions, quests, and abilities, enriching both narrative depth and gameplay variety.
Scavs are still crawling. Clean it up, clean it up.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt stands as one of the most impressive open-world games on Nintendo Switch, thanks to its richly detailed world, flexible combat, and deeply human storytelling. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter roaming war-scarred kingdoms, dense forests, bustling villages, and eerie ruins, with every region offering discoveries ranging from hidden treasures to dangerous creatures and meaningful side quests. Exploration feels organic because the world constantly reacts to your presence through dynamic events, contracts, and branching stories. Combat blends swordplay, dodging, bombs, crossbows, and magical signs, letting you adapt tactics to enemy weaknesses while shaping Geralt's abilities through upgrades that support aggressive, magical, or hybrid builds. What elevates the game is how intertwined its narrative layers are. Personal quests, political intrigue, and monster hunting arcs all carry emotional weight, with decisions shaping outcomes in ways both immediate and subtle. Even side missions often unfold like self-contained dramas, reinforcing the sense of living in a world full of moral ambiguity and consequence.
Really upset him too. His theory collapsed.
War's not exactly going our way.
We have a side.
Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen throws you into a fantasy world where your character gets their heart stolen by a dragon, becoming an Arisen, an undying warrior fated to hunt the dragon. You'll create your main character and your main pawn, an AI companion that fights alongside you and can be shared online with other players who can also hire your pawn, and vice versa. The combat is action-focused and incredibly satisfying, with 9 vocations that drastically change your playstyle, from sword and board fighter to spell-slinging mage to nimble assassin. You can climb on large enemies, Shadow of the Colossus style, stabbing weak points while hanging onto a griffin's back or a cyclops' face. Your party of 4, including your main pawn and 2 hired pawns, creates dynamic combat where you're coordinating attacks and combining abilities. The day-night cycle matters because traveling at night is genuinely dangerous, with stronger enemies and limited visibility making every journey tense. Fast travel is limited through ferry stones to placed port crystals, encouraging actual exploration. The expansion area, Bitter Black Isle, provides endgame challenge with tough enemies and the best loot.
Pokémon Scarlet and Violet push the series into a true open-world format, letting you roam the vast region of Paldea without route restrictions as towns, deserts, forests, lakes, and cities blend into a single continuous map. After choosing your starter and enrolling in the Academy, the game opens into 3 story paths: gym challenges, Titan Pokémon hunts, and Team Star confrontations that can be tackled in any order, giving the adventure a refreshing sense of freedom. Exploration feels fluid thanks to your mount, Koraidon or Miraidon, which evolves into new traversal forms for sprinting, swimming, or gliding across Paldea's diverse biomes. Battles add new strategic depth through the Terastal mechanic, which lets Pokémon crystallize into unique Terra types that shift matchups and encourage creative team building, while Paradox Pokémon and over 100 new species expand the meta. The story mixes school life, regional mysteries, and emotional character arcs, making quests feel more connected to the world around you. On Nintendo Switch 2, the upgrade enhances visuals, density, and stability, significantly improving frame rates to a locked 60 and giving exploration and combat a smoother, more responsive feel. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake revitalizes the classic JRPG that defined the genre back in 1988, using the stunning HD 2D visual style that blends pixel art characters with 3D environments and dramatic lighting. You play as the child of the legendary hero Ortega, setting out on your 16th birthday to complete your father's mission to defeat the demon lord Baramos. The game gives you remarkable freedom to recruit party members at the tavern, choosing from multiple classes like warrior, priest, mage, merchant, and more, letting you build your ideal 4-person team. You'll explore a massive world inspired by real geography, visiting fantasy versions of places like Rome, Egypt, and Japan, while collecting orbs needed to reach the villain. The turn-based combat is straightforward but strategic, requiring you to manage MP carefully and exploit enemy weaknesses. The class system lets you change vocations mid-game at a special shrine, allowing advanced players to create hybrid builds by mastering multiple classes. Day and night cycles affect which NPCs appear and which shops are open, encouraging thorough exploration. The remake adds new vocations, monster recruitment mechanics, and quality-of-life improvements while respecting the original design. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild remains a defining open-world experience on Nintendo Switch, offering a seamless Hyrule where mountains, forests, ruins, and plains invite exploration driven purely by curiosity. Its physics and chemistry systems make the world feel alive. Fire spreads through grass, metal draws lightning, objects roll and collide with weight, and improvisation often creates smarter solutions than combat alone. You climb nearly any surface, glide across vast distances, craft meals and elixirs from gathered ingredients, and manage weapons that break, encouraging experimentation with tactics rather than reliance on a single set of gear. The structure is entirely player-driven. After the opening plateau, every shrine, side quest, divine beast, and even the final confrontation is accessible in whatever order you choose, letting discovery guide progression. Story elements unfold as Link awakens without memory to a ruined kingdom and slowly uncovers what led to Hyrule's fall. On Nintendo Switch 2, enhanced resolution, more stable frame rates, and faster loading make traversal and combat feel noticeably smoother while sharpening the world's visual detail.
The result is an open-world experience defined not by map markers, but by freedom, systemic gameplay, and the joy of uncovering secrets at your own pace. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom expands the open-world design of its predecessor by turning Hyrule into a three-layered playground spanning sky islands, a richly reworked surface, and a dangerous underworld, each encouraging exploration through curiosity rather than fixed routes. Traversal feels liberating as climbing, gliding, and riding blend with new abilities that redefine how you interact with the environment. Ultra Hand lets you build vehicles, bridges, or contraptions from physics-driven parts. Fuse reshapes combat by combining weapons with materials for unique effects. Recall manipulates movement in clever ways. Ascend opens shortcuts through ceilings, and Auto Build reconstructs previous creations on the fly. These systems turn problem-solving into a creative sandbox that rewards experimentation in dungeons, puzzles, and battles alike. The story follows Link as he investigates ancient forces threatening Hyrule, uncovering lore across the sky, land, and depths, with a tone that mixes myth, mystery, and discovery. On Nintendo Switch 2, improved clarity, higher resolution, and far steadier frame rates significantly smooth traversal, combat, and large-scale builds, making ambitious constructions and vertical exploration feel more responsive. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 delivers the most refined and emotionally powerful entry in the series. Set in the world of Ionios, where two nations, Keves and Agnes, are locked in endless war. Soldiers are born from pods, already aged to young adults, with only 10-year lifespans, their sole purpose being to fight and collect enemy life energy to send to their respective queens. You control 6 main characters, 3 from each nation, who become Ouroboros, pairs of soldiers who can fuse into powerful combined forms, and together they discover the horrifying truth about their world. The real-time combat system lets you control one character while AI handles the others, using arts and talent arts in combination to build up your chain attack gauge. The class system is incredibly flexible, allowing any character to learn any class through mentorship, meaning you can customize your entire party's roles and abilities. Hero characters you recruit in side quests become temporary 7th party members, who teach entirely new classes with unique playstyles. The chain attack system creates satisfying turn-based moments where you coordinate your entire party's abilities to deal massive damage through careful selection.
You can never go wrong with Samita.
And there you have it, the top 20 best open-world games on Nintendo Switch. From reimagined classics to revolutionary new experiences, these games offer hundreds of hours of exploration and adventure. Which open-world game is your favorite on Switch? Think I got the ranking wrong? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Until next time, keep exploring.